Welcome back to the Frozen Forum podcast. This is episode 9, 8 or
Eight.
9 now.
Eight.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's episode 8. We're recording. It's 9:30. How's it going, Alex?
It's going. We just got back from work. We're gonna have some more work to do tonight. So, what more can you ask for in a day?
Jesus, what time did you start at?
Early.
Okay. I like it. You look like the coach here for this episode.
Oh, exactly. Hey, we're trying to do the full, media broadcasting kind of,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'll be the
because we're legit, right? Like we're a legit place over here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Bell Center, hook us up with some tickets, and we can commentate some of your games if you want. No problem.
We'll even try to do it in French. It might not go very well, but
that's all you need. That's all we need to know. Okay.
No, perfect.
Where do we want to start? We've played 3 games in the past week. First game against Boston, next game against Ottawa, then the last game against Pittsburgh. We'll start off with the 3 stars.
Okay. Three stars of the week, right? Like all
3 stars of the week of those 3 games.
Who do you got, Nathan?
Okay. First star, I think it's pretty easy here. Cole Caulfield. I mean, a solid 2-goal performance against Ottawa. He got a goal against Boston as well. He's our leading goal scorer right now. I'd say he's our number 1 star. Second star, Montembeault, still playing very, very solid between the pipes. I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing there. And then for the third star, there's a whole slew of players I'd go with. I don't have my finger set on one, but I'd say Slav. Slav for now. I think is a fair pick. Slav or Lane Hudson. Lane Hudson's been playing well, but I've also liked the way Slav has been playing on the power play. So, yeah.
I'm going to go a little off board for this one, okay? So I agree with Montembeault being up there. I actually did not think about Cole Caulfield, which is crazy because, 3 goals in the last 3 games. He's a goal per game player right now. Mark him down for 82, everybody. But I had him second because I just think like Samuel Montembeault. I mean, man, okay, don't get me wrong, right? Let's in 5 goals against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Everybody's like, oh, maybe Montembeault's not that good. The Pittsburgh Penguins got like 4.9 expected goals against the Montreal Canadiens in that game. That was not on Samuel Montembeault. Currently in the NHL, who's the leader in goals saved above expected? Samuel Montembeault, who is at the top of like the shots faced and like the expected goals against faced as a goalie, Samuel Montembeault, and he's 2-1. Like, what more? You know what I mean? Like he's being given the hardest workload in the NHL. He's been coming on. I think he's first. I'll give Cole Caulfield second. Okay. I do agree those two. But then third, I want to go Emil Heineman. I mean, This guy, 4th line player, 2 goals over the past 3 games. But not only that, like 2 goals playing 4th line minutes, playing with like against 4th lines. But again, this is his first time really up in the NHL for an extended period of time. He's been taking that spot. I thought he's looked really good defensively. So I'm going Emil Heineman.
No, I agree with that. I forgot he did have. I remember the first goal, but I forgot he did get that second one as well.
Yeah, I mean, snipe, right? You saw the snipe.
Yeah. I like what he's seeing out of him because I know he's worried about getting sent back to Europe if he has to go back. So, I mean, he's earning his spot here so far. So, like what I'm seeing.
No, exactly. And, it's good to see the young kids. I mean, you mentioned Lane Hudson, and he's going to be a star, I think, for a while. Like he's going to be like the unofficial. There's going to be like a first star like this. You know what I'm saying? But
yep.
I mean, he had a great week too. I'm seeing, I think 2 assists, 3 assists over the last 3 games. Didn't get on the score sheet in that Pittsburgh game, but 2 against Boston, 1 against the Senators, creating plays, wowing people. I mean, like this Pittsburgh game, I don't know if it was just the Amazon Prime broadcast or whatever that's doing something different, but like I could hear the crowd like louder than usual, I think. Because whenever Lane touched the puck, you heard like the hum. Like people were like, well, like they were getting out of their seats and like making noise when he got the puck, which is like incredible. I don't think I've ever seen that in person before. So yeah, shout out to him as well.
I think the real Habs fans, like the diehard Habs fans, knew of Lane Hudson coming into the season. So the first 2 games, when he had the puck on his stick, a lot of people were excited. But now for the fans that are more like recreational, they see what he's capable of. Now they're all excited too.
Man, and like don't get me wrong, like a lot of it's come from the people who will say, he's too small, okay, he's done it, at the college level, but is he really going to be able to do it at the NHL level? Like, did you see what he did to Sidney Crosby? Like that's Sidney. This is not some fourth line NHL player. Like he's doing this against the best and making them look foolish, right? Mm-hmm. Making passes that the top players aren't even seeing, right? I personally just can't wait until the rest of the team figures out how to play with him properly. Because I think he's creating so many chances and he gets open so many times that when the other players start picking up on what he's doing and get used to playing with him, I think you're even going to see more, which is crazy to say because, again, 3 assists in 3 games.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, he's doing pretty good things. One thing that I wanted to touch on that we saw through the 3 games that I liked, obviously our first power play unit looked solid. They're in the positions we want to see them in now. They have been.
They've been okay. I think
they're in the spots we want them to be. Caulfield's on his spot.
They're still not putting Slavkovsky over on my right dot, but I mean, sure. They also don't have Lane Hudson on that first unit yet. So, when that happens, I expect an explosion of goals.
That's true. But our second power play unit is, I think, overperforming. They're doing very, very well, and they haven't shown any signs of slowing down at all.
Mr. Lane Hudson. This is what he does, I think we saw in the preseason, we were like, okay, yeah, does he really know how to command a power play? That, I totally agree, Nathan. You're so on the money with this. That second, I think that power play unit has had 2 goals over the last 3 games. And I think our first unit has had 2 goals as well now, because with that Slavkovsky goal in Monday's game. But it's they're tied. Since when have we had a second power play unit that can score to begin with, and do it more than once within 4 games?
It's looking good.
Pretty crazy.
It is looking really good. Yeah, we have 2 solid power play units. We have Montembeault between the pipes playing out of his mind. It's looking good right now. And just wait till Laine comes back. Laine comes back, and we're a whole new team. We are a whole new team. We got to keep it up with this pace, though.
I'm telling you, if we stay at a 500-point pace.
Yep.
To when Laine gets back, we have a very legitimate shot at getting into the playoffs this year.
No, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through the games, yeah?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's go game by game. We'll start with the Boston game. The first thing I want to say, Nathan, going into this game, did you have any realistic hope that we were going to win?
No, I thought we were going to lose by 3 or 4, and that's what it looked like at the start.
At least, right? I mean, coming off of a back-to-back against Toronto, Boston's well-rested. All of our guys are young, and some of them haven't even played in the NHL for extended periods of time. We went into this game, I was like, okay, if we could just look good a little bit, totally fine game. What do you think about it?
I am pulling it up right now. So, what I remember watching was we had an early breakdown, weren't we down by 2 or 3 goals by the end of the first or something like that?
No, I think in the Boston game.
Yeah,
Boston game was we were down by 1 after the first period.
Oh shoot! Okay,
we scored the first goal actually in that game. That was Brent. Sorry, this is another key shout out. Brendan Gallagher had a fantastic game against Boston. That's 2 goals in that game, and. I mean, talk about a player that we just want to see do well in a season, man, it's so good seeing him do good things. I love it.
No, that's right. I'm thinking about Pittsburgh. But yeah, that was a decent first period. And then it was leading into the second. Just pulling it up here. Actually, hold up. The first period was an absolute barn burner. 5 goals in that first period.
5 goals, 1 period, all within 10 minutes of each other. Back to back to back to back. It's
At that point, it's 3-2. Honestly, we were looking decent, and then the second period happened, and that's where my hopes started to deteriorate a little bit. There, I saw Pasternak get that one.
But
Yep.
But so we get out of that second period, right? It's 5-2, right?
It's 5-2, yeah.
And then we score with like 11 minutes on the clock to make it 5-3. Who was that? That was Josh Anderson's goal. Good to see him doing good things too, right? Yep. And then with 4 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game, Brendan Gallagher gets his second of the game and makes it 5-4. And like I was like sort of paying attention to this game. A lot of different things going on Thursday, but I was like, oh, we have a chance. Like this team could be like one of these comeback teams that's actually can, whatever. And then like 17 seconds later, Boston scores to make it 6-4, and after that, it was just okay. Yeah.
It was about what we expected.
Yeah. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, good showing. Love to see Gallagher getting on the score sheet. Love to see Anderson getting on the score sheet. I know Caden Gooley had a great game, and I know he had a great game because you picked him up in fantasy.
Yes.
Because he's been actually doing pretty well on the team, getting points and things like that, which he hasn't done in years past, which is great to see. But that was the first game that he was really showing everything that he has. And then, again, we came out of that game, though, going like, we didn't expect to win. All of the young guys played well-ish. We broke down a few too many times, but, what did you think about Caden Primo, though? Did you see some of the goals that got scored against us?
No, I didn't, but I'm looking at the save percentage here, and he had 29 shots against 6 goals. It's not what we want to see.
Now, this is where the difference is, though, right? Like against the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? Pittsburgh had 30 shots on Samuel Montembeault, right? The Boston Bruins had 29 shots against Caden Primo. Very similar, right? The difference between the two games is Caden Primo had 3.3 expected goals against in those shots. So the quality of chances were not actually that high. Whereas against Samuel Montembeault, the expected goals against were 4.8, right?
And I think it's because most of the shots against Boston were regular strength goals. Regular strength,
and I mean, it's also like there were two. I know I watched 2 goals in particular. I don't remember which ones that were just like, oh, Caden, you just need to get that. Like the one thing Samuel Montembeault has done this season, which if he can continue to do, we will win so many hockey games, is like he's not the flashy goaltender, right? But he's going to make the saves he's supposed to make. If he sees the player shooting at him, he'll make the save. As long as the puck doesn't get tipped or some weird stuff happening, right? And like that's what you need from a starting goaltender. You don't need him to be the guy that like figures out that this guy's going to tip him 2 things in front, because then you get those goalies who overthink everything and don't make the easy saves, right? I think Marc-Andre Fleury was always famous for that, right? He would make these beautiful, beautiful saves, and then there'd be some stupid shot from the point that would like just go in because he wasn't really paying attention, But like that's how it felt with Primo, was like he just wasn't making the saves that he had to make.
Right. Yeah, they just looked weak. I mean, I wish we had a little bit more to talk on with Primo because it was just the one game. But yeah, Gooley was the top performer of that game, according to ESPN. So yeah. I mean, good things out of our younger core. But yeah, Primo, we're gonna need him to step it up. They play LA tomorrow, and I'm assuming he would be in net. I mean, there has been quite a break.
Probably not.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think after that Boston game, it's just like again, I'll make the pitch to you. Imagine like I'm Marty St. Louis behind the bench, right? And like you're the assistant coach that's helping me figure out this goaltending decision, right? Like this is my pitch, okay? Look, we need to win as many games as we can this season. Montembeault has looked really good. He's rested fully for the game tomorrow. Primo did not look good. We need to win as many games as we can this season. And at the end of the day, we have other goalie prospects in the system who can come up and replace Primo in the future. Like Primo is not the bedrock of our goaltending in the future. It's not like Lane Hudson, where you need to play him so that he develops and so that he gets better in the NHL. So whatever. It's like at the end of the day, if Caden Primo turns into a great goaltender on his own through the limited starts that he's going to get, perfect. Like you want him to be competing for that spot, right? Yep. There's no reason to give it to him, because if he doesn't get it, look, Jacob Fowler just posted like a shutout, I think, in the NCAA, right? In his like first game back, like he's looked fantastic. That's the future. Like it's Samuel Montembeault and Jacob Fowler. Primo can do whatever he wants to do.
That's true, but I'm also wondering if they might put him in just because it's so early into the season and see if he does belong, because then at least they could weed him out if he's not playing up to standard. I mean, because you'd want to figure that out through the first few games there, right? And I mean, I feel like it's a little bit too harsh on Primo to just say, get him out of here after one game, right?
Look, all I'm saying is if they put Primo in tomorrow, they most definitely better have Lane Hudson on that first power play unit, because if you want to and I totally agree. I agree that our young players, especially as a team where we're not going to be Stanley Cup like challengers or anything like that this year, we should definitely be giving those opportunities to the young guys to develop properly. But if they're going to do that with Caden Primo and they don't apply the same philosophy to Lane Hudson.
I agree with you there. But I mean, Lane Hudson he's on the ice more. Like, he's played every game. It's a little bit different to compare a goalie. You're comparing apples to bananas here. Like, it's different.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you get my point, though, right? Like, the overarching theme is the same.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. So that was the first game. Now let's go into the second game. That is against Ottawa. In Ottawa? No, in Montreal.
In Montreal.
Yes, yeah. In Montreal. And that is a 4-1 win. Montembeault playing once again. Very nice. But like we said, Caulfield with 2 goals.
Samuel Montembeault went a full 100 minutes of ice time without letting in a goal.
Yeah.
This season. Like, he starts the season 100 minutes played, 0 goals against. That was great. What did you think about like the overall game? First of all, like before I get into the things that I want to talk about,
I thought we looked solid. I thought we looked pretty good. I mean, we're playing a pretty unskilled Senators team, to be fair. But honestly, our entire team looks solid. Like, I mean, like you said, we had Heineman coming up on the power play, getting that first goal for us. Caulfield getting another one. Yeah, and then what was it? Montembeault getting, I think it was like 60-something saves in a row before he let that first goal in Stutzel, but
yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, hey, like he's posting in that game a 96 save percentage, like
yeah, still
like a 960. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
No, it's perfect. I was gonna ask you though, in this game, like I thought this game looked very similar to the Toronto Maple Leaf game that we played. Like, no, I don't remember a single big Ottawa Senators chance. Do you?
No, there wasn't. And I mean, we had more good chances. Obviously, we scored more, but we still had good chances in the Leafs game, but we just couldn't capitalize like we were able to in this game here in the Senators. And that's just because it's not the first game of the season. Like, I mean, the team's starting to mesh together, just remembering how everything works again. And then, yeah, I wouldn't say it was the exact same, but just because the team's working a bit better together.
Yep.
After having a few games under the belt.
Yeah. No, because again, like I mean, even if you look at like the expected goals against, like again, we only had 2.7 goals against, or like expected against us, right? In the difference between this game and the Leaf game was like we did not get outplayed in this game. We did not get like outchanced or anything. Like that Leaf game, we had so many expected goals against. This game, like they were only expected to get 2.7. We were actually expected to score 3.3. So like we scored more goals than we were expected to score, which is great. And I mean that's the Cole Caulfield effect, right? Like one of the very cool metrics that we use in hockey, especially in the advanced stat stuff, is the expected goals. But something that you see is like the best players in the league are almost always scoring more goals than they're expected to, right? And the reason for that is because they have like a better shot. You know, they have higher shooting percentages just because they're able to place pucks better than other players, like on average, right? And so that's what you see from Cole Caulfield here. But no, I thought we played just such a solid game. I think Ottawa had like 5 shots against us in the first period.
Yeah, I remember it was low, and then they started to turn it up in the second. And that's when I heard the announcer say at some point it was like 60-something saves in a row for Montembeault, and I was like, holy crap! Definitely talk about that on the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a great stat. And everybody had a good game too. Like, I don't think there's anybody on the Habs that was like, wow, like we need to fix this. Like I didn't really feel like that. Did you?
No,
With
no,
anybody?
I thought we played pretty solid fundamental hockey that game. Like, not too many errors. The one that we did have, obviously, they got the goal, but
yeah,
that's
no, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't actually have anything else to say about this game. Like, I thought that, like, if we can play that kind of hockey half of the season, we'll win more than half the games we play.
Yep.
Like, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. The third game. You're going to be talking about it the most because I was watching a little bit of football that night. I'm not going to lie. So we played the Pittsburgh Penguins. And what did you see in that game? What were our strengths, our weaknesses, what we needed to work on in that game?
Okay, so I wanted to start this game by saying it is important to understand that the Montreal Canadiens are one of the youngest teams in the NHL. In the first 3 games of the season, that did not show. Against the Pittsburgh Penguins, that showed. I have not ever seen a more sloppy game, I don't think, from like the Habs defensively. There was chance after chance after chance. And look, like, if you want to give the Anaheim Ducks or the San Jose Sharks a bunch of very high grade scoring chances, you might be able to get away with it. When Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin are playing against you, you cannot give them opportunities to score. And like, I don't even know if either of them actually scored a goal. But I know I think Malkin did. I think he got the empty netter to finish the game.
Yes.
But like they looked phenomenal, other than when Lane Hudson was deking around them. And I mean, it shows like they were expected to score 5.3 goals in the game. Like, that's a huge number. It's incredible, especially on like the 30 shots that they had. Like,
yeah,
crazy.
31 shots. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. No, I just like, I think every single part of the team in this game just like did not look put together defensively. And it was like offensively, we were okay. Again, like, we score 3 goals. If we can score 3 or more goals for the whole season, we'll be fine, right? Like yep. That's the goal, right? Is 3 to 4 goals per game. I mean that Uri Slafkovsky goal. I think somebody. I wanted to shout this out because I think somebody commented on one of our shorts where I was talking about the power play formation, saying that it was bad. That Uri Slafkovsky goal, I understand why him in front of the net is a good thing, because like he just tapped it, like he was in the perfect spot. It was the easiest goal I think I've ever seen in the NHL, right? You just put a stick on the ice. It's basically like the goal I scored in intramural hockey, right? I just put my stick on the ice and pretend I don't know how to play hockey, and the defenseman is just going to put the puck off of my stick, like that's what happened here. Like, he put a stick on the ice and Nick Suzuki just put the puck off of his stick into the net, right? Yep. And so I sort of see it. I still think Kirby Dach would be better over there. Would it look a little bit different? Yes. But I still think you put Kirby Dach in front of the net. Whatever. Just me, I guess. I can be outvoted.
So the only thing that would have changed in that scenario was Kirby Dach would have got the goal.
Well, the thing that changes though, right, from like a global power play perspective is like the reason that Nick Suzuki can make that pass is because Uri Slafkovsky is left-handed. Right? And so because he's left-handed, the puck, like he has his stick right beside the net, right? If you have Kirby Dach there, like, he's on his backhand on that side of the net, so it's probably not getting passed to him, right? The difference, though, from like a long-term power play perspective, right, is if you want to have Nick Suzuki coming down that right side, him being able to pass to Uri Slafkovsky with a one-timer on the right side is way more dangerous than Kirby Dach with a left-handed shot. But it's also, with the right-handed shot. But it's also, if Kirby Dach's in the middle of the ice, exactly what Nick Suzuki did, Cole Caulfield can now do that from the left side. So now, instead of Cole Caulfield only being a one-timing threat, he's now is also a passing threat back to the middle of the ice where there's a tap-in for a goal, right? And so while everybody's trying to block the net, and get in the way of the net, all of a sudden it's going to their left, right, as they're facing him. And it's being tapped in by Kirby Dach on the other side. Does that make sense?
Like no, I get what you mean. Yep.
Yeah. So like to me, that's a lot better because I think there's more threats. I think right now, like again, it's everything originates from Nick Suzuki, right? If Nick Suzuki makes good passes, we score goals.
Yep. That's exactly what it looked like too.
Right. And that's what happens, right? But now Nick Suzuki's a great player. He's going to make passes like that all season, right? So again, you just have to weigh it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think the seniority of the Pens just dominated the youth of the Habs, or was it just because they've played for so much longer in the NHL and we just haven't? Like, you think that's what it came down to, or it was just what?
I was reading about the Habs defensive system. And so there have been a few writers who've gone into it a little bit in this last bit, a little bit, because Marty St. Louis is asking his team to play a hybrid system in the defensive zone. And so what that means is like you can play usually like a zone coverage where everybody stays in one sort of spot and just puts their sticks in lanes, or you can play like man to man, right, where each person stays on one guy. Now, what Marty wants is at the top of the zone by the blue line to play man to man. But then as soon as the puck comes under like the dots or like around the dots, he wants to go to a zone coverage and collapse in front of the net. And so I think what you see, like the whole system is designed to get the puck out of the zone as quickly as possible. But it's very, very, very confusing. Like it's almost confusing just to talk about, right? Like it's like to think about what each player has to do and where they have to go. Extraordinarily confusing, right? And so that's what you see, I think, with Montreal is like, at the end of the day, they're not 100% comfortable playing the defensive system that Marty wants. And so they try. But if half of the players go to play zone and the other half of the players are playing man, there's going to be a huge problem because you're going to have a bunch of lines opening up. You're going to have a bunch of passing lanes opening up. And that's when goals get scored. And I honestly think that's just what happened. Like you look at all of the goals that Pittsburgh scored, our defensive system just collapsed. Like all of the players didn't really know where they're supposed to be.
That was the main question I had for you because you said you just looked slow.
No. Hey, I would like to say this too though. On the whole note of being like having seniority, whatever. I do think that the Montreal Canadiens have a slight disadvantage compared to the rest of the league, just in general, because I think the Bell Center is like such a storied place to play. Like Montreal, like the vibe that the players get. And I know Sidney Crosby talked about this too. So did Chris Letang. Chris Letang's from Quebec, right? But they both talked about how like coming to the Bell Center, it's just a little bit extra. You get that little bit extra jolt, right? And so I think when you're a Habs player, of course you feel that, but that's what you feel 42 games or 41 games a year, right? For the players coming into the barn, they're coming in going, oh, this is so exciting. I'm playing in Montreal, right? And they get that little extra kick. And I honestly is something, if you go back, I think you see it over the long term, is like teams just play better in the Bell Center, like just in general, right? I think that's part of what you saw as well.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it always seems to be that games at the Bell Center, except for the first game this season, have a high amount of goals from both teams. Like the Habs shooting a lot, scoring a lot, and the away team scoring a lot. Maybe it has to do with the Bell Center. I don't know.
Yep, and it's just a good ice, eh? People always rate the Bell Center ice as the first in the league.
Yep, 100%. I think it's because they actually keep it cold, unlike these new arenas where it's always like. In some of the new arenas, it's just warm in the stands. Like you can go there fully with the shorts and like a sweater or something like that.
Yeah,
you fully could. You might not be comfortable, but I would be completely fine with that. You get what I'm saying, though. Like the new arenas have a tendency to be warmer, and the Bell Center is a bit older. Keeps it cooler.
Yep. No, it could be. But either way, we lose the game. I was really hoping we could win. I thought, to be honest, like again, the game looked bad, as you said at the start, right? I mean, we get scored twice right at the beginning of the first period. We get one back, and that goal was Caden Gooley's goal, right?
Yep.
Again, just another example of this kid being good. I think he's going to have a career year this year, which isn't really saying a lot. But like in terms of points and stuff, I think we're going to look back and be like, wow, Caden Gooley like broke out of his shell. I thought Lane Hudson played well. I wanted to bring up something though, because like a lot of people don't like plus minus, right? Like this whole idea plus minus, because they're like, it doesn't actually tell you anything, whatever. Lane Hudson was -4.
He was -4. Yep. My brother sent me a meme. Or did you see on the Instagram account?
I didn't.
He sent a meme on the Instagram account. We can take a look after the pod, but yeah, it was just a meme of Habs fans glazing Lane Hudson. Meanwhile, he's -4 heading into the next game.
Yeah. So no, but he was -4 just in this game, and again, this is where, to be honest, I wanted to talk to you about this just in general, overarching theme. One of the things that we've seen in these last 3 games, it happened in Boston, and it happened against Pittsburgh, both times when we were losing. The defense pairs have been switched up. So usually it's Caden Gooley and Mike Matheson, David Savard, Lane Hudson, Justin Barron, and Arbor Xhekaj. That last pairing has looked very, very, very iffy. Like, sometimes they look okay and make good plays. Other times it's like, oh my goodness, what are you trying to do here? Like why are you trying to make this more complicated than it should be, right?
Yeah.
And so what Marty's done, which I want to know your opinion on this, right? Like, should it stay like this? Is he's put Caden Gooley with Lane Hudson, and then taken Justin Barron and put him with Mike Matheson, obviously being more experienced, and then put Arbor Xhekaj with David Savard, obviously being more experienced. So giving more support for Xhekaj and Barron, while taking some support away probably from like Lane Hudson, who would get a lot more support from, say, Mike Matheson, who's played longer. Like, what do you think about that?
No, I think you definitely need to have the pairing of D-men with older, more tenured D-men with the younger guys. So you're definitely going to... I would want to see Mike Matheson with Lane Hudson. I wouldn't want to see a Caden Gooley with Lane Hudson because...
Really?
Yeah.
Because
they're both younger guys. Like, I mean, I'd rather see someone who can maybe mentor him through.
At the end of the day, though, we've got 4 younger guys, right?
That's true.
So, like, it's about which 2 do you put together? Like, would you put, like, Caden Gooley with, like, Barron then?
Okay, that is true.
Because, like, you could do that.
Okay, of the young guys, so we're saying it's Xhekaj, Lane, Gooley, and Barron. And I don't think you can put Barron with any of the other young guys. And Xhekaj staying on the third line. So then you have to put Gooley and Hudson.
I mean, to me, that makes the most amount of sense. And I've actually really liked it. They combined for a goal in that Boston game.
I don't know. I mean, it's Lane Hudson's first year. I mean, he's proven he's a solid player. But I still think he should play a little bit with Mike Matheson, who's been in the league for a bit.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Mean, let's say there was ever a situation where the defense had to stand up for themselves or they have to get a little ratty there. I don't think you're going to see Caden Gooley or Lane Hudson.
Hey, Caden Gooley is a beast, though. Like, Caden Gooley is one tough guy.
He is, but Mike Matheson's tougher.
Hey, sure. I still don't like Mike Matheson. I mean, this is going to be a continual trend all of this season. I might have my own bias against him. What I was going to say, though, the other thing, like in this Pittsburgh game, I think there were at least 2 or 3 times, because Lane's been playing with Savard, right? Because left shot, right shot, right? And there were a few times where Savard just doesn't get back fast enough. And like when you have a player like Lane who is going to go up and be on the goal line in the offensive zone, right? Whenever he has a chance to, you need a guy to like support him on the back end. And I just did not see any of that support coming through. Like, I think that's why he was -4. Like, there's a few goals where I was like, oh man, like the team just has to get back better. Like, they have to realize that Lane Hudson is hopping into a play.
Yeah. Well then, yeah, that's at that point it's on the forwards. Like, I mean, usually as a D-man myself, if I'm going for a forwards rush with the puck,
Which you
I
like to
will.
do, by the way.
Huh? Yeah, I do love to do that. I will yell at my winger and say, "Cover me." It's the first thing I will do. As soon as I'm blown by him, I just say, "Cover me." Somebody's back there. The forwards will figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
well,
just
that's where
do
I
that.
just don't think the forwards have figured it out. Like,
The forwards are not figured it out. Yeah, but we'll
no,
get to
that's
that
fair.
point. We'll get to that point eventually. Okay, so looking forward now. Tomorrow we play the Kings in Montreal. I mean, I think that's a game that we definitely have a chance at winning. I mean, they're getting their butts handed to them in Toronto right now. It's 5-2 currently.
Oh, perfect.
Yep. And
Perfect. Has JT scored?
JT has done nothing. He does not have a shot. He
Oh
is
my
-1.
goodness.
It's 5-2. He's
Oh my.
-1. No goals,
How
no
are you
assists.
Oh my goodness. This guy. He's on my fantasy team. I need him to do things.
He is -1
God.
and has done nothing. And he's
Tough.
had 17. Does that tell you?
Okay, so anyways, they're losing. It's definitely a game we can win, though. I mean, LA coming
Yep.
on a back-to-back.
Yeah, back to back. I mean, they have. It's not too long of a flight. It's like an hour flight. Yeah, I mean, we've had 3 days rest, and you think we're going to be starting Montembeault? If Montembeault's starting, I don't see any way we lose this game. If Primo's starting,
Oh, I see a way we lose it. Like, I mean, we can lose every game of the season playing like we played against Pittsburgh. Like if we continue to make those mistakes, we will not win hockey games. Like, you just can't. Like, I don't care what team you can make those mistakes against the San Jose Sharks and they're going to beat you. You know what I mean? Like, but I do agree. I don't see a world in which they come out and play like that again because they would have had a lot of stuff handed to them after that last game.
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so that their first game is against the Kings, and then what's after that?
We got a game on Saturday. I don't remember who against, and we have a game next Tuesday. Another game. I think one of them is against Columbus, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I believe that is right. I forget which though.
Yeah, and then what do we got? The New York Islanders. Oh no, it's New York Islanders on Saturday, and then the Rangers next Tuesday.
Okay.
So no Columbus. I don't know what I was talking about with Columbus. We don't even play them this month. I have no idea. But
Want to talk about other things that's been going on in the league?
Yeah. What have you been paying attention to, Nathan? I mean, the whole NHL is happening.
Yep.
Both of us have fantasy teams that we've been managing actively.
Yep.
Well, what's on your radar? What's going on?
I mean, the Utah Hockey Club looks pretty solid. I mean, they're 3-1, 3-1 to start out their franchise. That's pretty solid, and they have some snipers too. They have Dylan Gunther's been putting up a lot of fantasy points. Clayton Keller's been picking up a lot of fantasy points. Baron Hayton also. I wanted to pick him up, but I think Jack snagged him there. It's all good. Yeah, they're looking good. I mean, I was hoping to come on here tonight and just absolutely roast into Matthews, but he got his goal. He got his goal right before this.
I mean, hey, 1 goal in 3 games, or 4 games.
That's
4 games. That's what, like a 20-goal pace?
yeah. 20-goal pace for Matthews. So
and sorry, a goaltender scored a goal in the NHL this season before Austin Matthews scored.
Before Austin Matthews, before Alex Ovechkin.
Don't say that one. I have him on my fantasy team.
Before Alex Ovechkin, before Connor McDavid, even. I don't think Connor McDavid has a goal. Yeah.
Did you watch that goal? That Philip Gustafsson goal?
Yeah, I watched it on repeat. I watched it like 5 times in a row. I was insane. I mean, he didn't look like he got too much height on it, and I thought they were gonna swat it down with their stick there, but I mean, it was enough. Got the job done. Good on him. That's the 18th goal in NHL history, which at the third in the last year.
Yeah,
which is also pretty cool. That 16% of all goalie goals in NHL history, a league that's existed for more than 100 years.
Well, I mean, hey, I think if the goalies back in the 70s tried to take a shot on the other team's net, I think they'd get clubbered. I think they'd be like a full line brawl, you know? And they'd be like, what do you think you're doing trying to shoot on our net, you know?
It is a little different now, I'll give you that, yeah.
No, you're right. It was a cool game. What else? Who's been hot? I know Jersey's been pretty good. Dallas is off to a 4-0 start.
Dallas is 4-0. Yep.
The Calgary Flames are off to a 4-0 start, which, as a side note for anybody who cares, Jacob Markstrom no longer on that team. He's third in goals saved above expected. He's first in shots against this season, playing for the New Jersey Devils. So he's been good in New Jersey. I don't even know who Calgary has. Like what is that team? How have they won 4 games, Nathan?
I don't know. I mean, the dogs they had last year were like, I mean, someone who was picking up a lot of fantasy points for me, that was Blake Coleman, but he's barely done anything either. Like, I don't know what's going on with them. Have they had easy matchups? Like, what's been going on?
I mean, they played the Edmonton Oilers, who, as a side note to all of this, the Edmonton Oilers are like one of the last teams in the NHL.
Severely underperformed. I mean, this happened last
1-3.
This happened last year.
Yeah, but like, there's no excuse for it this year. Like, last year was like, oh, we don't actually know if the Edmonton Oilers are that good. This year, it's like they just came off a trip to the Stanley Cup final.
Well, we know they need a little bit of time to get the engine running. I mean, if it's going to be a repeat of next year, I don't think Edmonton Oilers fans are nervous yet. I wouldn't be nervous at all if I was an Edmonton fan. Like, I mean, you saw what happened last year. It's only the 4th game of the season, and they got the job done. They came back last night. It was 2-0 when I went to bed, and I saw that they clawed back 4-3 in OT. Of course, McDavid to Draisaitl. Why else?
Of course.
What else would it be?
How else are you supposed to win if you're the Edmonton Oilers?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like...
Nothing else is coming out of that, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean...
Hey, that talk about Calgary as a side note. Jonathan Huberdeau has 6 points in 4 games.
Okay.
3 goals, 3 assists. Rasmus Anderson has 6 as well. Connor Zary, Zary, or however you pronounce his name, he's been really good. I mean, it is a little bit lighter over there too. Eh? Like we faced the Toronto Maple Leafs, playoff team last year, the Boston Bruins, playoff team last year, the Ottawa Senators, who we beat, so we don't have to talk about it, and the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are just perennially a good team, especially at the beginning of the season because they're older. Right, like the more rest they have, the better they come into the season. They'll drop off around February when all of the old legs start to cramp up, you know. But but like the Calgary Flames, they're playing the Edmonton Oilers, who have had, I don't want to necessarily say an easy schedule, but I mean they've played the Chicago Blackhawks, who you don't expect Chicago to win very many games this year. They've played the Philadelphia Flyers, who on that note, Michkov scores twice last night.
Yes.
The race for the Calder is on. Lane Hudson, 3 points through 4 games. Michkov, 3 points through 4 games. I can't, as a fantasy hockey player who has Michkov on his fantasy team, I hope that Michkov barely loses the Calder Trophy race. I hope it's one of the closest we've ever seen. I hope he scores a point per game the entire season, because that would make my team very good. Make him a steal of the draft. But I mean, hey, that race is gonna be so good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody else could win last year. Like it did not matter how good of a season you had last year. It's Connor Bedard's season.
Yep.
This season,
it's up for grabs. There's no big name. Like, I mean, Connor Bedard was the face of the NHL last year. I mean, even if he didn't have the season he had, he was probably winning it just for the league. You know, they hyped him up the whole season. They kind of have to give it to him. This season, They haven't really been promoting the rookies as much.
I mean, Macklin Celebrini is hurt as well, right? Like he's out for a bit.
He's hurt with I couldn't even tell you, because he got that goal, and then I just see Macklin Celebrini on IR. Like, what happened? He played the entire game.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you.
Another good thing. This was last night in Columbus. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Florida Panthers honored Johnny Goudreau last night. Both teams, for warm-ups, came out in Gaudreau number 13 jerseys during their warm-ups. And then before puck drop, they had a nice video ceremony before the game. It was really touching. I mean, I think the team did a really good job of making it more of a celebration of life more than like a sad video tribute. It was a very good representation of his life, what he lived for. It was more than just hockey. It showed his family. His family was all there. That was probably one of the tougher things to see on the TV. I mean, they panned to the video tribute and then to Johnny's family, and they were all bawling, and that was just it was tough to see. But it was good that they honored him in that way. And then at puck drop, they let 13 seconds come off the clock, and they put the puck in Johnny's spot. They took a man off the ice in his honor, left the puck there for him for 13 seconds, and then play began.
Man, you're gonna make me emotional over here, Nathan, all over again after seeing that. Yeah, no, it's it was a very good tribute.
Yeah,
it was very cool to see. And I mean, you know, obviously the most tragic thing that's happened in the NHL, and I don't think there's ever been a more tragic thing in the NHL. I think we're just gonna we're gonna keep getting reminded this whole season about that, and hopefully in years to come too, because his memory should live on. And yeah, we'll miss him, you know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
man. I don't know how we're supposed to pivot from that into anything else.
Yeah, neither do I. I think we can cap it there. I mean, that covers most of the big things that happened with the Habs and things in the league this week. One thing I would like to touch on, though, is within the next few weeks, we will start releasing these bonus episodes. So these will be with our friends discussing games against their own favorite teams, between the Habs and their teams, and maybe even some guests who have played junior or professional hockey in Canada. You have to stay tuned and see who we have on the podcast. That's something we're looking forward to over the next few weeks here. And yeah, you guys will see that soon.
Nathan is super excited because some of these episodes, I mean, they might not have both of us on. They might have both of us on. We'll totally see. But either way, he's going to send me the link, and he's going to say, okay, you can edit now. Go post for tomorrow. And I'm going to say, okay.
Yep. I do have one guest planned. We're going to hopefully get it done in this next week here. And then, yeah, this should be coming out cool. Very soon to you guys.
Yeah. I'll have to figure out how to name them. But yeah, we'll have to put a little thing in the episode number that it's not episode 6, it's episode G1 or something, like for guests. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We could just like include it through the.
That's true. We could just make it episode 10.
Yeah.
But then we're gonna get on the podcast and be like, hey, it was episode 9. Just be like, no, recorded that last week or on Saturday. Cool.
We'll figure it out.
Very cool. Very exciting things coming. We want to thank everybody, obviously, for all of their support on all of the different platforms that they either stream the podcast on, or for the people that won't see this little bit about me thanking you. Thank you for watching our TikToks and shorts and all the other things that Nathan puts together. He does a great job. We're having a lot of fun with it, I think.
It is very fun.
Yeah, this is my opportunity to talk to Nathan every week. So you know, what more could I ask for?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. Great to talk with you every week for this hour, and then we need to actually just have more calls outside of this.
Hey, I mean, this call doesn't stop though. Like, we stop recording and then we just chat for half an hour, and then all of a sudden it's 12 o'clock at night and I'm editing a video. You know, it's
That is true. All right. Yeah, I think that's it for this week. Thank you everyone for watching. We really do appreciate all the support on all platforms. Make sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, turn on the post notifications, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so.
Anywhere else that you listen to your podcast, we are there. They come out on all platforms. I think the ones that they doesn't come out on, it's because I can't figure out how to make an account. But I don't think anybody uses them anyways, so we're fine. And obviously, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure to give us that 5-star review. That's how you show us the love. With that, I think we're good to sign off. Thank you for watching this episode. We'll be back at the very latest next week. But from what it sounds like, we might have a bonus episode for you coming out in the middle of this week and next week. And so stay tuned for that.
Alrighty, guys. Au revoir. Bonsoir. See you guys later.
And go Habs, go.
Go Habs.